Welcome back to Livie'S Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel, and I'm your host, Fam the Fabulous. For more ideas, inspiration, swaps, and challenges, click the link in the description below to join our craft community, the Maker Exchange, on Facebook. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. All right, welcome back to Livie'S Lovelies, and if you're new to the channel, you might want to stick around. Click the subscribe button so that you won't miss any crafty uploads, and if you are not new and you're currently a subscriber, thanks for coming back. Now, I have this composition notebook out because I recently filled up one of my journals, and I'm not going to do a flip through because that's just, it's a bit much for tonight. I ain't got that kind of time, y'all. But I've already started writing in it. Now, let me just share with you guys what I had to do this time around. I know some of you guys like the chunky journals, chunky notebooks, but this became a bit much to try and keep in my my shelf, fit into the space where I keep my notebooks. So while it's not as chunky as many of them that I see, this is simply a composition notebook, covered, altered I should say, and with, you know, scrapbook paper. And I think the back of here, I actually used matte medium. I wasn't really fond of that, only because while it does give you some texture, it picks up debris, you know, from off your table and stuff like that. So I'm not sure how it would have, you know, if the same would have applied to the front. But I tried it on the back just to see how the finish would be, and it did make it stiff, but I don't like the fact that it seemed like it attracted every color that ended up on my workspace. So I'm not going to do that with this one. I'm going to figure out something else to do with it. That being said, to avoid the second notebook being so, you know, chunky, I went ahead and what I did was I cut out every other page. I cut it out to this part right here. And then I took, let me show you. So I cut every other page. I cut to about a quarter of an inch past the red line here. And then I took a glue stick and glued that down to the page behind it. So that's every other page. So my intentions is, this is my journal. This is just nothing that the whole world can't see, but I'm going to change it, turn it to a page where y'all don't have to read all of that. Anyways, my intention is to, on this page that doesn't have the page glued down to it, journal on that page, and then create art on this page as well as this page. So I'm going to try and start off like that. I need to cover this page. I mean, cover the front and cover the back and the insides. I also want to include some pockets in this one, some tuck spots and things of that nature. I have some of them in the other one, but they're so random, and I added them as I was learning more about journaling and junk journals and so on and so forth. So this one will be a little bit more intentional, despite the fact that I've already started in it, but this one will be created with a little bit more of a cohesive theme. I would like to use what I found on Pleasant Creations, which is an Etsy shop owned by Liz of Liz for a Day here on YouTube. So I just recently, now this is just printed out on regular white paper, and cheap white paper at that, by accident, but, and I'm not gonna throw this away. I'm gonna use it somewhere. I might even use it on a card. But so what Liz does on her channel is she creates a lot of ephemera, embellishments, and accessories for journals and junk journals, as well as she has a few digital downloads. So that's where I got this from. and I went ahead and downloaded a few so that I could cut them out. And you don't have to fussy cut them, but I had nothing better to do because it was a quiet afternoon. So that's what I did. And if you want to look and see her, now she already distresses it before she scans it in, but when I cut it out, I still had some of the white parts around it. So I went on ahead and just used some Tim Holtz distress ink around the edges just to create a little bit more of a defined edge. So I've got the sun shining from that way, so bear with me here. But nevertheless, I think her, now this is on white cardstock. I actually printed it the first time in black and white on accident. So it's always trial and error with me, guys. Anyways, so these are the ones that I printed. Such pretty images. And what she did was she took coffee stained paper, stitched around it along with some ephemera, and created clusters with it. And she scanned the clusters in, and that is what she made available. So the download that I have, and I'll drop a link below for that, she has that. It comes with 4 sheets of different size cards, different sized ephemera. So like this size, you could use this depending on what you printed on and what you put on the back. This could be a journal card, a small journal card, or even a tag. You know, it's totally up to you how you use them, what you use them for. But you get quite a bit, and I think the download, it was very inexpensive. And I'm gonna be honest with you, now I recently was putting together, and I'll do a video, it's one of the videos that's coming up, of some envelope flips. Those are some of the things that I want to include in this journal that I'm working in, I should say. And I'm gonna be honest with you, between the gathering of the materials, this is a larger size, and I'll show you how large this is. Good Lord. This is 4 inches by 4.5, 4 3/4. So that's a good size for a journal card. Just depends on what you want to put back there. You could put some type of coffee stained paper back there, or leave it as is. But so I downloaded them, fussy cut them out, most of them I should say, and you get so many of them. I haven't fussy cut these out, but I'm going to show you anyways. And also, my printer is not the most advanced in terms of color, so I'm sure that if you have some other Canon or Epson, I have an Epson, but you know, one of the better versions, you probably will get more vivid colors. And then here's another one that's 4 by 4. But as I was saying, as I was putting the envelope flips together that I was making between the sewing and the gathering of the materials, you know, it became quite labor intensive. Now granted, it is for my journal, but if I were to try to recreate those for someone else, I'm not saying that it wouldn't be worth it. It just depends on who it's for, but it's definitely not something that I would create for like my son's baseball coach, his wife or something. It's just way too intense. So this was the one that these are 2 that I made for, well, I should say I started making. And I'll show you how they would work. So let me move these out of the way. These are done. These are not. So now I'm getting some sun in here. Let me see if I can get that a little more. There we go. That's a little bit better. Sorry about the different colors, guys. Hopefully y'all saw everything the first go round. If not, my apologies. Nevertheless, so here are the ones that I was working on. So here's how it would go. So let's say that this is the journal, okay? This would be the envelope flip. It would be somewhere right like here. I haven't put the punch in here yet, but this is a pocket. Okay, you could journal here and journal here. It is distressed like nobody's business. But I found these images online because I wanted to make something with a vintage touch, but I really was hoping to find some women that, you know, reflected my heritage, you know, some type of African American art. And if you're a designer out there, digital designer, you might want to jump in there and kind of pull from whatever resource you have, because I'm going to tell you right now, there's not a lot of it out there. So for us creatives who are looking for something, you know, to add diversity to what we already have or what we make, vintage wise, there's not a lot. So here's my favorite girl. Isn't she a beauty? Look at that. It says Divine. Now this came from the Flower Market paper pad by Echo Park or Cartabella, and I just added some lace around the edge, stitched in black around the edge. And this is, you know, the inside of some junk mail that I received, and I just distressed the edges. And that paper is from the back, is from the book that I recently showed, Harvard Classic, 5-foot shelf of books, or yeah, I think that's what it's called. So in here we have, I just stamped the inside with Smile, added some lace to the end, some trim to the end, and then I have a tag on the inside. So that's another envelope pocket flip that'll go inside of this journal. Now then I use that same concept, but I altered it a little bit, and I'm going to do this one. My next video will be me doing this one on camera, so stay tuned, because that's what you'll see next. But nevertheless, this is using oh gosh, Liz's download. And so this is all it is just the digital cut out, added to a distressed envelope. Oh, and by the way, so let me give you guys an idea of when I say an envelope, I mean this is the envelope that I'm using. So you take a regular envelope and you cut it down, cut 3 inches off. I think it's 3 inches. So you cut it down to, this is the envelope. You cut it down to 6 inches. See that? 6 inches. Okay, I just distressed the edges, both sides. Then I added my journal, this, to the front and the back side, and I just distressed the inside as well. I'll add coffee dyed paper or some other type of paper to the inside. Do the same here. Punch a little outlet right there. I think that's what they call it. And then you take the piece that you punch out and glue it to the inside so that you don't see the blue. So let me just give you an idea of what I'm talking about. While this one is this way, most of them will be that way. But so here we have, it's like that. And let me zoom in just a little bit. So there we have it. And then here is where we can add, you know, something like this tag or some goodies. Something like that. And then using the end of the envelope that I cut off, which would be, let's see, this size. Get it? Taking this, you can add it on to the side, but I had to end up gluing the bottom and cutting the edge to make it work. Anyways, just millions of different ways to do it, but so that's what I did. I used the end part of the envelope, and then we have a cute little tag. Put a little picture here, some more journaling notes, whatever your heart's desire, and then I stitched around the edge, stamped it with a stamp that I got from, I don't know, from Hobby Lobby. Added some, oh yeah, so I added some trim, some ribbon, distressed the edges just a little bit, and then I stamped here as well. So that is going to be a nice addition to my, and I'm glad that I did reduce the size of those, you know, cut out some of those pages, because truth be told, these things are going to make it, they're going to thicken it up. So anyways, that's what I popped on to tell you guys. I've got a few more minutes before it's time for me to pick up the boy and from VBS. So I'm going to take a few more minutes to cut out, fussy cut out some more of these pieces. And until we're back here again on YouTube, you know what we say. Stay encouraged, stay blessed, stay creative and crafting. Bye for now. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe to join the crafty community, and be sure to click the bell for notifications of new uploads. Thank you so much for watching. Now stay tuned for more from Livie'S Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel. Bye for now.